How's it going? My name is Jake and welcome to this week's video. So in this week's video we're going to talk about a blaster, and it's about damn time that we talk about this blaster. Right here, this guy right there. Taken off the wall and in my hands now is the Air Warriors Ultra Tech Sentinel, made by Busby in 2015. For a lot of people in the hobby, this blaster is considered a grail. You may remember a few weeks ago I did an unboxing from my friend Shaz, aka my Canadian Nerf arms dealer, and he gave me this for basically shipping, along with a whole bunch of other cool stuff that was in that box. And now, after a while, I'm finally taking the time to talk about this. So what is the Sentinel? Well, the Sentinel is a magazine-fed lever action blaster. While the Sentinel in and of itself is already a rare piece of foam dart flinging technology, lever action blasters are, in general, just a very rare thing in this hobby. Recently, Silly Butts has created the Slab, which is a lever action blaster that you can currently get right now on Out of Darts, the hardware kit, and the 3D printed parts. Silly Butts, I think, also created the Flak, or as I call it, the Flak Cannon. And then I believe there was a shell-fed lever action somewhere in the hobby. I forgot who made that. I forget who makes what blasters, so if I get these wrong, please feel free to correct me in the comments. But in terms of mass-produced products, there is the Sentinel, there is the Rapid Fire Tech, which not only was lever action, the first lever action blaster of all time, might I add, it was also shell-fed and took a magazine, a proprietary magazine. What I think is funny is that it was Busby who made the first lever action blaster, and then years later down the line, in 2014, the Slingfire came out in the Zombie Strike line, and then Busby's answer to that, even though they did it first, as I just said, was the Sentinel. And while doing research on the Sentinel, I actually found via the Nerf Wiki that there is apparently somewhere out there a green variant of this, which in my opinion isn't as cool as the white one, but it exists, and I've never seen someone even hold a physical one, so I can't imagine that it really even exists. For all I know, it could be photoshopped and fake news. Wrong. Also, something that's really cool that I want to point out, which is basically standard nowadays, but was pretty impressive back then, is that this is an official Nerf mag and a Busby blaster. So this thing can take mags from basically anywhere. I imagine worker mags would also work in this as well. But the good thing about this means that at the time you could buy a Busby blaster, and if you had already put all your stock into Nerf blasters and Nerf magazines, you didn't have to worry about your mags being incompatible. I pray every night for the death of proprietary mags, while understanding that sometimes it is necessary. Style points! This thing's not loaded right now, but it's still a hell of a lot of fun to do that. And once more, I have to give a shout out to Shaz for sending me this Sentinel. To be fair, I don't think he really needed it when he already has these Sentinels in his arsenal. I'm being kind of petty, but honestly, it is pretty cool that he has all those, and I'm very happy for him. All jokes aside. Now that I've gushed over this blaster and told you about how cool it is and all that good stuff, I think it's about time to crack open a cold one. Because if we're being honest, this thing's a piece of shit. Oh, fuck! Well, one take! One take! Okay, I need a towel. 1 second. Okay. I cleaned up my mess. And luckily, nothing got on the Sentinel. God, I thought I would be cleaning yuzu ramune off my Sentinel. It already needs to be cleaned. Actually, I haven't cleaned this yet. I probably should clean this thing. So yeah, setting aside how cool the fact that it's a lever action and how fun it is, yeah, the thing's a piece of shit. This stuff tastes really good. Now, something can be a piece of shit while still being really cool. That's what the Sentinel is. But what makes the Sentinel a piece of shit? Well, I'll tell you, it's the one thing that turns me off from this entire blaster almost. It's this button mag release. It's so annoying. I hate it. I hate it so much. I don't know why. You have to press the button in and then grab your fingers around the mag and yank it out. But what if you're using it? I've tried this with 6-round mags, as you've seen in the firing footage. It's such a pain in the ass, and I hate it so much. It cannot be. The thing is, if you open it up, it looks like it was meant to take a trigger, because it was. Why would you put a button here? And it isn't just on the Sentinel. This is a standard thing they do in a lot of their main mag releases. I know the old joke is Busby versus your hands, and like Busby doesn't make stuff meant for human hands, like ergonomics and whatnot. I'm not one to typically complain about that sort of stuff because I love Busby blasters, and the Busby blasters, in my opinion, all have decent hands. Like, they're not the best things ever, but they're okay. I can't get over this though. This is the type of thing that drives me to drink. Now, calling it a piece of shit is probably a bit much. It's not a piece of shit. It's just not the most comfortable thing ever. But I hate this so much that it almost makes me not want to use it. But of course, I'm a modder. We fix these sort of things. Now we'll get into the high mod potential that this thing has in a little bit, but first I want to get into the firing footage. Now this time I did the firing footage a little different. See, instead of showing you how accurate it can be, how powerful it was, I was more focused on the reliability of the blaster. So what I ended up doing was running 100 darts through the blaster and counting how many jams there were, how many double fires, how many times did not want to take a mag. You get the idea. How's it going, everyone? This is Even More in the Future Jake, who's currently editing the video you're watching, and I went on a big spiel about what goes on in the firing footage, but I'll keep it short and just let you know that it's sad. I won't tell you why it's sad, you'll figure it out, but it's sad. Enjoy! So to demonstrate how operating the Sentinel goes, I have a few mags here, a 6-round, an 8-round, and a 12-round mag, all the way with elite darts because we're not going to be worried about what we're hitting this time. What I'm simply going to be doing is trying to empty these mags as fast as possible, and we're going to count how many times I struggle to put in a mag, take out a mag, and how many times the lever jams. Now, to be fair, this is a pretty old blaster, so part of the reason that this lever is jamming could be on the fact it's just an old blaster, because it is jiggling around quite a bit. It is also a Busby product, and their plastic quality isn't the best, so I'll think about that when deciding how I'm going to rate this. But also, something to take in mind is that I like to shoulder my blasters. I can't really shoulder this. I can try, but it's a little difficult. So this thing is better served as a hip fire blaster, especially with this lever action, because holding it here, you get more leverage than you do up here. And that's probably something I'll talk about when we get back inside, is modding potential, because Captain Xavier has a full rifle configuration where he extended the stock and extended the barrel. That may be something I do in the future, but again, we'll talk about that when we get to it. The reason we're reloading just from the table is because I don't have any gear, and reloading from the pocket is kind of annoying, especially with these pants, because I got really deep pockets in these pants. But anyway, right, and I'm gonna go between shoulder and hip just to get a idea about which I prefer. Something I've also seen that'll demonstrate is you want to put your fingers in here and just ratchet it down, but something I've seen Coop772 do and demonstrate is you just grab it like this, ratchet it, and then come up and then use this finger to pull the trigger. I'll try that as well to see how I like that. It doesn't seem very comfortable. So yeah, with that said, I guess we can get right into this. So here we go, and start. "12 rounds next." That actually went pretty smooth. Oh, that felt a little crunchy, closing in on the dart. Fire though. That's really awkward. If we can get through this with no jams or fumbling, you know what? Style points. Count that as a fumble at the end. Alright then, well, it was good all the way up until the end. No jams. I will say, regardless of how smooth it is still very uncomfortable to reload. Anyway, starting with the 12-round mag, 6-round, 8 mag, elite darts. Again, not worried about what we're hitting. We're trying to see how many times it jams or I fumble, putting in or taking out a mag. And the first time we got 1 fumble, no jams, and to see if it's not a fluke, we are running this one more time. Now this is, if I can do some quick math, 24, 52 darts, I think. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. But out of 52 darts, 1 fumble, and no jamming. I'd say that's pretty good, but we gotta test first to find out. Okay, and here we go. Well, that was a jam. Anyway, apparently I really can't count darts, apparently. What are you laughing about? What are you laughing? So, honey, did you count any fumbles?
Besides,
we're not talking about that. Did you count any fumbles with the mag?
just one.
Just one. So that's 2 fumbles, no jamming, 52 darts. Oh man, do we need to do 100 darts? Should we do 100? Run 2 more. Is that you nodding?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's build the mags back up. You know the deal. Alright, that one double feeded, we'll count that. Oh, I think it jammed. That's a jam. Yep.
There's also still a dart in that one.
Oh. Is that 2 jams?
Mm-hmm.
2 jams. I knew we'd come into something eventually. Oh, great. Okay. Fumble with the mag, a jam, a double feed. See, I knew it was a good idea to do 100 darts. Because we still got one more round after this. Alright. Makes it really satisfying sound when you pull the mag out though, I'll say that. Well, we can't let this go to waste. So I did math, and apparently I was way off that first time. I thought after 2 we're at 52. No, after 3 we're at 57. Because it's 19 rounds in total, and we did 3 rounds of this. That's 57. So we're actually not as close to 100 as I thought. But we're still gonna get there, so let's reload. I'm gonna hope that our math now is correct. Bianca's gonna be keeping count. This is 57, 12 round mag, and nope, we're good. Uh-oh. Okay. Question it. Fix it. Alright. How many was that, honey?
85.
85?
Mm-hmm.
How did it go from 87?
57 to 85. Can I not math either?
87? Wait, that doesn't sound right, though.
57.
No, we're doing 19 times what gets us to 100.
Okay. 19 times
That was 6.
6. That's too big.
And 19 times 5.
19. Oops. 19 times 5. Jakey.
Yeah.
19's an uneven number, so you can never get just 100.
Well, that's fine. We'll do 6 then and get 114.
Okay.
Cool. Call it a jam. Reload.
So you've been saying that this is 19?
Yes.
Okay, let's see. 12 plus 6. That already equals 18.
Uh-huh.
Plus 8.
I didn't pass algebra! So what did we learn from the firing footage? Well, one thing's for sure, and it's that we learned I can't count. And also, I may have been a bit harsh in calling the Sentinel a piece of shit. Because while the Sentinel is an ergonomical nightmare, it's not exactly the most unreliable thing ever. That's not to say it doesn't have its faults. If I can do the proper math, each drill had 26 darts, ran 5 times, that's 130 darts that were put through this blaster. Watching back the firing footage, I managed to count 3 problems with the mag, 2 gems, a double feed, and a misfire. This isn't the most scientific test ever, but after 130 darts, I would say that you're still, honestly, pretty good, pretty solid on the field with the Sentinel. While the Sentinel lacks in comfort, it makes up for in power, and even just in stock form, this thing hits like a truck. Is high performance worth the bad ergonomics and awkward operation? I'll let you guys be the judge of that. Now, I think the main selling point for the Sentinel, aside from the fact that it's a rarity, is the fact that even just stock performance isn't bad. In fact, it's actually really good. Like I said earlier, this thing hits like a truck. Now, it does have some issues. It's not the most practical thing ever, but like I said earlier, we are modders, and we fix things. We make things better. And of course, there's been no shortage of mods making the Sentinel even better than what it already is. To give just a few examples of the modding potential that the Sentinel has, the most basic thing you can probably do is what Captain Xavier did, which is put a K26 spring inside and get 85 to 110 FPS. Which means, yes, not only can this thing take a spring upgrade, but it can handle a K26. Of course, he also did some custom bodywork with a paint job and a Predator barrel to expand the barrel and a slingfire stock on the back to give himself a full rifle configuration. And there's what Luchathor 13 did with his Sentinel, making it hit 200 plus FPS with a brass barrel, brass breech, and a SF25 TC spring, at least I think it was a TC model spring, and he hit over 200 plus FPS with that. Now to hit 200 FPS, you can of course upgrade the spring, put in the brass barrel, put in the brass breech, but there is also a fully machined metal Sentinel breech available from Foam Sport, which is what Mongoose Jake put into his personal Sentinel build and was hitting a really high FPS. I forgot exactly what it is, but it's really beefy. Plus, with something that's made of fully machined metal, you're really going to expand the lifespan of your blaster. Also, me and him share the same first name. Now, you probably think it's a bit weird for me to talk about the Sentinel like this after calling it a piece of shit at the start of this video. Well, the thing is, it's not entirely a piece of shit. I actually really do love this blaster. I've grown a love-hate relationship with this thing, because as much as I love it, there's a lot about it that just is... it's not quite there. It's so close to being perfect, and yet so far. And so this is the conundrum that I find myself in. In my eyes, the allure of the Sentinel being a rare, hard-to-find lever-action blaster is ultimately its downfall as well, because I don't know if I want to keep this rare, hard-to-find blaster stock and put it on my wall for display, or if I want to possibly bring it to that full potential and mod it and risk breaking it. Because having a rare, hard-to-find lever-action blaster hit 200 FPS would be really sweet, but at the cost of its own life, I'm not sure if it's worth it. We as modders at the end of the day all have to come to terms with the fact that when we open up our blasters and mod them and tinker with them, that we are risking breaking and killing our blasters. And even a successful mod could turn around and possibly break itself and fail. But I seriously just don't know if it's worth it with the Sentinel. And then you have to consider the fact that I could mod this thing to its full potential and make it hit those 200 plus FPS ranges and put the full rifle configuration on it and fix this dumb fuck off button mad release. Is it really going to be perfect? The ergonomics are still there. It's still a Sentinel. I will say I'm definitely more on the love side of this love-hate relationship. I don't really hate this thing. It's not a bad blaster in my opinion. There's just a lot stopping it from being that god-level, amazing, perfect blaster. I don't really have a vendetta against it. It's just there's a lot holding this thing back that I can't really hold against it, because at the end of the day, it's a Sentinel. The Sentinel's pretty cool. It's a piece of shit, but it's a piece of shit that I love. And if you ever find one, I implore you, pick it up, put some rounds through it, put it on your wall if you want to collect it, or if you feel like taking that risk, mod it up, make it hit those insane ranges. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button. If you want to see more content like this, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification to be notified when I make more content, because doing so does encourage me to make more content. And there's links in the description to the Foam Battalion Instagram page and the Foam After Dark Discord server, as well as links to all the YouTubers mentioned in this video and the music used in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time.